this is a weird sentence, but if you're trying to be liked, I actually don't recommend you like help people. Like I actually think helping people will make the internet like you less than if you just like buy nice cars and do like the typical influencer path. It's because we're just so conditioned in America to see it as like a shield, and like no one actually does good because they just find it fun apparently. But I mean, I don't care. Like I said, it's just more fun than if I didn't. So I mean, people can shit on me for helping people. I don't, it doesn't bother me anymore. But I wouldn't recommend you get into it if you want to be liked, because I think it's negatively correlated now.
Some people upset at Mr. Beast on X. It's not because of a scandal. He caught some heat for helping free kids from slavery in Africa in one of his recent videos. But the outrage wasn't really about what he did, it was about what he didn't do. And that's a theme I've seen before. It actually reminds me of the way I heard people talk about Michael Jordan back in the day. And I say back in the day, I just mean within the last 5 years. I remember Stephen A. Smith talk about how Jordan needed to be more of an activist. And that's aside from the fact that that's not even his job. Even though behind the scenes he was involved in many philanthropic ventures. I use this as an example, you know, it's not exactly the same, but it is the same energy. Why are you helping them and not us? And no matter what you do, it's not enough for everyone. People on X made the exact same argument. Why help over there when we've got problems over here? Like this tweet that went viral. How about you help Americans if you're gonna virtue signal for profit? And this was not just a throwaway comment, it racked up millions of views, and it perfectly captures the kind of mindset I'm talking about. Before we get into the replies, let me just say, in a way, I do agree. We have many issues here in America, and we see a lot of America first sentiment, much of which is credited to President Trump, who ran on this idea that our nation focuses way too much on other parts of the world when our country truly feels like it's falling apart in a lot of ways. Where I don't agree is that Mr. Beast would be doing this as a way to virtue signal, which basically means he's doing this to look good, to get social points, or to go viral off of other people's struggles. Now here's the thing. There is something about philanthropy in Africa that gets a lot of attention, probably because when we in a first world country think about Africa, we do think of it as a place where people are starving, homeless, just in dire need of whatever they can get, you know, food, shelter, etc. And Mr. Beast is not the first person to capitalize on this. You know, the Bill Gates Foundation has been active in Africa for many years. Oprah built a school in Africa and filmed it, and a lot of us remember those for a cup of coffee commercials. Now, is this all for show? Sometimes it does get pretty sketchy. There's a lot of speculation as to what the Gates Foundation was actually doing out there, but what we can agree upon is, to our knowledge, Mr. Beast is genuinely helping people out there, and this is not something that he pioneered by a long shot. The point is, yes, he may be taking advantage of the optics and just how the video would attract a lot of people to watch it, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And I don't think it's virtue signaling, because that's just become his brand at this point. He still makes crazy videos, you know, doing crazy stuff, but a lot of what people know him for is just giving out a bunch of money and recording it, you know, and it's just part of his brand. And I could see this tweet hitting a little harder if he only did stuff in Africa, or just in third world countries. But he does do a lot of philanthropy here in America too, which he actually says in a response to this tweet, where he says, "We do routine food drives in America and give millions of meals away for free to Americans each year. If I listed out all the projects we've done in America, this tweet would be a book. Yet every time I help people in Africa, my top reply is, I don't help my own country." A person responds, at Grok, "What has Mr. Beast done for military veterans in America?" And Grok does respond saying he has not done anything publicly. But another person responds with, at Grok, "Why can't the US government give its veterans a basic, decent life and expect private companies or associations to step up for them?" The original author responds sarcastically saying, "Aw, did the little man get his panties in a bunch when someone asked Grok a question? It's gonna be okay, he will never know or care about you, keep trying though." So this is the downside of X, or I guess just people in general. He asks a question. A person responds, indirectly implying that the government should be the one that takes care of veterans, and this dude just trolls him. Doesn't really respond to his point and just claims the intent behind the response was to get Mr. Beast's attention, which just takes the conversation nowhere. Another person responds to this tweet saying, "To demand from a YouTuber to protect the ones who served your country instead of your government, well, this is pathetic," which I have to agree with. I mean, sure, that would be great if he did do that, and maybe one day he will, but we can't expect that kind of responsibility to fall on freaking Mr. Beast, right? I mean, just saying that is so weird, because the dude is just a YouTuber, and that's not to downplay the influence this man has, right? He is known worldwide. But to me, at least, that doesn't obligate him or give him the credibility to fix America. Moving on, this person, Travis, responds to Mr. Beast defending himself saying, "Stop wasting American money in Africa until our veterans in America stop committing suicide over money and homelessness." A person responds, Wasting is a bit crazy. Travis responds, not really, considering some of those projects have been failures. The population there doesn't appreciate the work. Don't know why, but that's what happens, so it's a waste. And from there, everyone kind of just calls him a racist. Now, first thing is, it's not like Mr. Beast is spending taxpayer dollars, right? This dude Travis says American money. It sounds like that's what he's implying for some reason. Obviously, Mr. Beast spends his own money doing these things. He just doesn't have access to taxpayer money. But let's look at his second response. When the person said wasting is a bit crazy, if his point is, you know, like we mentioned earlier, there have been many philanthropic ventures in Africa from wealthy and non-wealthy people that come from the West. But yet, it seems like it's never ending, and no matter how much is given, much is always needed. That is one thing, but to say they don't appreciate it, I mean, how can you even calculate that, right? I would love to know in the comments where people stand on this. I think it's more of an assumption, and I simply just don't know enough to really comment on that. Can't really tell if that's actually him just being racist or if he's referring to something that I just don't know. Moving on, this person says, I get that you do a lot in the US, and that's awesome, but I think some of the criticism might come from the people wanting to see more focus on deeper systemic issues here, like homelessness or healthcare access. Maybe a future project idea? Still, props for all you do. This person, Andrew Price, replies, yeah, Mr. Beast, why aren't you the government? Which I just thought was funny, and kind of where I stand on the situation. It's like, the guy is a YouTuber, he's not our government, he just makes a lot of money. Moving on, this person, Sean, responds to Mr. Beast defending himself, saying, I couldn't care less.
You are supposed to do good works. You don't need to brag about it and steal glory from the Lord. Hubris is detrimental. Been there, done that, and still rebuilding. Do things privately. Nobody needs to know about it unless you are advertising for said charity. Be humble, brother.
A person, Taylor, responds, marketing. He has to market his videos so ad revenue from said videos can go into funding more help. I genuinely think Jimmy is one of the few good ones in the public eye these days. Sean responds, point taken, but doesn't take away from my point. There are other and better ways. Y'all just need to take a step back and approach from a different angle. Now, let's look at the business model behind Mr. Beast and his philanthropy, just from the information we know. He makes a crazy video. That crazy video generates a lot of money. That money goes into a philanthropy project, which turns into another crazy video, which makes money that goes into another crazy video, and so on. Now, these arrows could be going in any way. This is just an easy way to look at it and a very simple way to look at it. The point is, he needs to do it publicly to even be able to do it at all. Let's not pretend like Feastables are what's funding these projects and videos. I'm not trying to count his pockets, but he had been doing this before having an actual product to sell, a physical product. These videos and the things he's doing publicly are his product. They just happen to be good deeds, right? Some of the time. So although I see where Sean is coming from, I just don't think that's entirely possible. As Mr. Beast said in the original post, he does do many things in private. Now, I'm not here to be a defender of Mr. Beast. I don't watch his videos, and I don't agree with everything he does. I don't like that he partnered with Prime, for example. I think since his audience is mostly children, it's kind of irresponsible to promote a drink like that to them. But at the end of the day, we can't expect YouTubers, celebrities, or some random millionaires to do things our government is supposed to handle. Mr. Beast is not the healthcare system, he's not housing policy, and he's not veteran services. You know, he's just a YouTuber with some money and a platform. And at least he's choosing to help people with it. You know, it's not perfect, but it's better than doing nothing. And if the real issue is that we're relying on creators to do the government's job, maybe, you know, that outrage should be pointed somewhere else. You know, to me, it's almost no different than asking the fucking Rizzler to come and lower rent prices and lower inflation. But that's all I gotta say on the matter. Please let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments. I know it's not the biggest story, but I just thought it was pretty interesting. And I thank you for watching this video, man.
It always does suck when people try to just like, I don't know. It's funny, the more good you do, the more people think you're secretly evil. And it's like, why can't I just help people because it's fun? You know? So I could just, I don't know, do these like $1 versus videos where I compare like a $1 boat to $1 billion boat and all these other things and not help people. And I would just get way less shit. And it's so funny because no one bats an eye when I post that. But when I give hundreds of thousands of people in Africa clean drinking water, it's like all hell breaks loose. And I'm like, guys, I'm just trying to bring attention to a cause. I don't really, but the thing is, I'm just going to keep doing it. And I mean, I think in my case, most people have realized I'm not going to stop. So